A relationship, I think, is like a shark. You know, it has to constantly move forward or it dies. And I think what we got on our hands is a dead shark.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
What would prompt a special group of fans of Woody Allen's Annie Hall to reimagine that classic movie as their Annie Hall? With Serena Altschul, we're about to find out.
There's an old joke. Two elderly women are at a Catskill Mountain resort, and one of them says, "Boy, the food at this place is really terrible." The other one says, "Yeah, I know, and such small portions."
This is Alvy Singer, played by Woody Allen in his 1977 Oscar-winning film, Annie Hall.
There's this old joke about two elderly women at a resort in the Catskill Mountains.
This is also Alvy Singer, played by 94-year-old Harry Miller.
And one of them says, "Boy, the food in here is terrible, and the portions are too small."
Of course, you don't recognize him.
Oh, well, la-di-da, la-di-da.
There's no Diane Keaton either.
This is Annie Hall.
Hi.
Hi.
Annie is played by 74-year-old Shula Chernick.
It had to be you. It had to be you.
This is a remake you've never seen.
Don't do that. Go to that one. There.
You know, maybe we should just call the police.
A 30-minute version starring seniors called My Annie Hall.
Here, Alvy.
Oh, good, go away.
So how often do you sleep together?
Hardly ever. Oh, maybe 3 times a week.
Constantly. I'd say 3 times a week.
This new version has a life all of its own, still sticking to the original film's witty banter and sexual humor.
Alvy.
Well, what's the matter?
What's the matter?
I don't wanna.
When we were rewriting the script, we never wanted sex for their age to be a joke.
And never to be
the
at the
joke.
expense of age. That was never the intention.
But we want.
The project is the brainchild of millennial duo 29-year-old Matt Starr and 25-year-old Ellie Sachs. It all began when Starr was visiting his grandmother, who had early onset Alzheimer's.
She would look at me and she would say, "How is school?" And I'd been out of school for a few years. I'd answer, she'd turn away, take a bite, and she'd say, "So how is school?" And it just became these cyclical conversations. It's really sad.
We'll always have Paris. We didn't have, we lost it until you came to Casablanca.
But when they watched the classic film Casablanca together, he saw a big change in his grandma.
And I noticed that she started reciting the lines. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I played the role opposite her, and I started reciting lines back. I said, this is a really great way to communicate.
You found an entry point into her past and communication.
Exactly. And I was like, maybe I can do this on a larger scale.
Still, he didn't know where to start until he talked to Ellie Sachs.
And I said, I have this great idea. I have no idea how to do it. And she said, well, I do.
Cool. That's how it started.
Yes,
that's how it started.
But it looked like curtains before it even began. 10 senior homes rejected their idea until they turned to the Lenox Hill Neighborhood House in New York City. And they got it. They got the story.
Oh, yeah.
And seniors like Harry Miller and Shula Chernick, they got it too.
But I immediately said yes. I don't know if I picked up on their enthusiasm, but it just seemed like such a creative topic.
The fact that they were willing to deal with older people, and I said, well, we can do this. So we did.
Singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
The seniors were shown several trailers to choose from, but the final vote was cast.
One of the things that makes Annie Hall really special is that it's a memory movie, and I think that the film as a whole really asks the question, what do we choose to remember and why?
You look like a very happy couple. Are you?
Yeah.
In a long-term relationship, how do you two remain happy?
I'm very shallow and empty,
Well, we're both incredibly vapid, and neither of us have any original thoughts.
and I have no ideas and nothing interesting to say.
And I'm exactly the same way.
The project itself became something to remember. What was going to be a simple remake filmed on an iPhone turned into a large-scale production. More than $10,000 was raised to turn their dream into a 20-person crew and 3 months of shooting, not to mention pounds and pounds of live lobster.
Yeah, you know, we should have ordered steaks. They don't have legs.
Fast forward to the big premiere.
It's full of loneliness and misery and suffering and unhappiness. And it's all over much too soon.
The movie has only been screened a couple of times, and each time brings a wide smile to the face of its 94-year-old star.
My face filled a 20-foot screen. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
Nobody ever dreamed that Woody Allen himself would catch wind of the project. But in reading about their story in the New York Times, Starr and Sachs learned that Allen even gave it his blessing.
Yeah, my stomach dropped. It was crazy.
Did you even think it would be in his radar?
No.
No.
People are calling me a celebrity. I've been getting letters from people I don't know.
How about you, Harry?
Well, people are calling me a star, so if they want to call me a star, fine.
Not going to argue.
I say, I deserve it.
But the happiest ending of all may be the special bond forged between the young and old. With no one left in his family, Harry now has surrogate grandchildren.
Should we find a place to sit?
Yeah, we can sit down maybe. It's so busy.
Every week, the gang gets together for lunch, a stroll in the park, or even dance classes.
They adopted me as their grandfather. So.
He says you've adopted him.
Yeah. And him us.
Seems like old times.
What do we lose as people, young people, who just don't celebrate and appreciate what our elderly population has to offer? What are we losing?
This isn't like a super lofty answer, but I think we just lose like the potential to make incredible friends.
It reminded me of another old joke about the guy who goes to a psychiatrist.
He says, Doc, my brother's crazy. He thinks he's a chicken.
And the doctor says, why don't you turn him in? And the guy says,
I would, but I need the eggs. Well, I guess that's pretty much now how I feel about relationships.
they're totally irrational, crazy, and absurd. But we keep on going through it because we need the eggs.